Hey everyone, and welcome back to Remember This Tech. In today's video I'm going to be building a computer to flip, but before I flip it, I figured why don't I test it out and see how it performs in 2025. What's the key CPU in this system? It's the i7 6700K CPU, 4 cores, 8 threads. And we've got just a basic ASUS H110M Tac-C motherboard. We're going to throw in a 480 gig Lexar SSD, 16 gig of DDR4 RAM, and this motherboard is a LGA 1151 socket. And I figured, well, what GPU could I use so I don't bottleneck the CPU too bad and still give performance, and see what an average build for like this would perform in 2025. Well, none other than the 8 gig 1070. The NVIDIA 1070. So this is gonna perform pretty well, I hope, in this build. We're using the Corsair CV650 power supply. We're using the Fractal Design Focus G case. Should provide good airflow with a couple fans up front, and we're gonna put one in the back for exhaust. So without further ado, let's get this system built really quick, slap in Windows 11, do some synthetic benchmarks, and then test out some games and see how it performs in 2025. The old i7 6700K CPU. Will it still do well at 1080p? Well, just stay tuned and find out. Come on, let's get going. Come on, let's go. Every time I get a board from eBay, it's always, well, I always wonder, how are the pins? So I can't see that great, so I'll take a high-res picture with my phone, and then I'll zoom in, and I'll look and say, are there any bent pins? I'll kind of scan and zoom in, and it usually does a good job. It's not perfect, but it's better to do that than start and go through the whole process. Yeah, better to do it now before you get built and something's goofed, right? Fine, I think. So this is the motherboard, nothing special, but it only has 2 RAM slots. Let's get on with the build, shall we? And I think what we'll use for the cooler today, I'll probably use the Hyper 212 Spectrum V3. The main thing is it's got to be able to fit on the motherboard. So that's why I have a whole bunch of these. So it does fit the 1151 socket. So we'll make it flashy. We'll use the Hyper 212 Spectrum V3. Plenty of cooling power for the CPU. Plenty. Let's get this mounted in the board, and then we can get some thermal paste on here and we're rocking and rolling. So for this 1151 chipset, and at least this particular cooler, if you're using this Hyper 212 Spectrum V3, you have to mount this bracket on top of the cooler and screw it from underneath. That's the way you do it. I know it's counterintuitive, but then you mount it onto here like this. So that's what you do for this. Otherwise you won't get a good contact between the copper and here. It won't fit flush, it won't fit like that. So for instance, you think, oh yeah, you're gonna put it on the board like this, put it here, screw it down into the back plate. No, in reality, you have to mount it in here and screw it up in through first. And that's how you do this for this particular 1151 socket. Tip of the day, or else nothing's going to fit. Don't ask, this is the way they made it. I just wanted to save you some headache and pain. And by the way, I'll link all these parts for the cooler, some RAM, SSDs in the description section below in case you want to check it out. It helps me out. Thanks. Here's where the tense part comes in. Don't cut your fingers on the fins. You're gonna have to use some pressure to get this cooler on. Kitty corner it, Right? Get them in there. and then you can do the corresponding sides, but you're going to need a little pressure to get this into the bracket. And that's how you mount this Cooler Master Hyper 212 Hyper V3 Spectrum, whatever cooler. It's a 4-pipe heat pipe design, copper. And I'll link my toolkit below too. Now we can mount this into the case, finally. Not the greatest cable management, not the worst either. Non-modular, I guess we did okay with the cable management here. This GPU takes a 8-pin, and so there you go. Let's see if we can't get this thing booting up into loading Windows, shall we? See if it detects the CPU at least. Well, let's see if this sucker will turn on, eh? Turned on. Briefly. Okay, so we got CPUs recognized. i7 6700K. Good temp on the CPU too. So this can do XMP profile at 3200 on DDR4. So, interesting. Atomfall was a breeze. Ultra textures and medium settings gave us an impressive 161 FPS average, with buttery smooth 1% lows over 118 FPS. No complaints here. Cyberpunk ran surprisingly well on medium-low settings, averaging 63 FPS and a 1% lows held above 40 FPS, delivering a consistent experience with minimal dips. The Witcher 3 Enhanced Edition at medium settings averaged 44 FPS with a solid 1% lows around 33. It's a smooth experience overall and visually still looks great at native 1080p.
Gonna hang your head from my saddle.
At medium settings, Baldurs Gate 3 stayed near 59 FPS on average. The 1% lows around 30 FPS kept gameplay fluid even in heavy combat scenes.
What's next, I wonder?
At least they...
Red Dead Redemption 2 on medium averaged around 50 FPS with solid lows at 45. The 1070 still holds up well here, offering cinematic but smooth frontier experience. Stalker 2 on low settings averaged 34 FPS with 1% lows at 21. It's definitely playable, but you'll feel the strain of this demanding title. In Company of Heroes 3, the i7 6700K with the 1070 delivered a solid gaming experience at 1080p medium settings. The average frame rate came in at a respectable 74.3 FPS with the 1% lows hovering around 38.9, giving smooth gameplay in most battles. Minimum frame rate dropped to 40.7, and while the 0.1% lows dropped briefly to 2.6 FPS, these were rare stutters, likely due to heavy effects or scene changes. Overall, very playable and enjoyable RTS experience on this older but still capable setup. Jedi Survivor averaged 40 FPS on medium settings, but the 1% lows dropped to 25, with stutters dipping as low as 2 FPS. Not quite a smooth ride, but still playable with tweaks or lower settings.
BD? We'll get it.
You want to get a bite after a shift? Sure, I could go for a turbo dog. I heard they make those out of Strix. That's just a rumor. Stop! Target's blocking my attack. Not an easy target! Watch out!
Starfield managed just under 50 FPS on low settings with 1% lows in the upper 20s. It's playable, but a few dips may remind you you are on older hardware. Elden Ring averaged 46 FPS, but with 1% lows just above 1 FPS. Classic stutter issues show up here. Not unplayable, but definitely inconsistent, and it shows.
Why won't anyone look me in the eye? I'm not that ugly, am I?
So my final thoughts on this i7 6700K CPU. It can still hold its own in 2025. Sure, you have a little bit of stutter in Elden Ring, but that game to me isn't very well optimized. And what really surprised me, or what I shouldn't say surprised me, is Atomfall. This CPU really performed on Atomfall, really knocked it out of the park with the optimization in Atomfall was really crazy good. And every game I seem to be testing with Atomfall always shows that as well. If you still have this CPU, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think there's anything you couldn't do nowadays except maybe 1440p gaming. But if you're going to go that route anyways, or do video editing, you're probably going to upgrade your whole platform. But if you still have it, there's still tons of life left in it. So keep on using it, right? So thanks for coming along with me with this journey, and thanks for watching. Remember this tech.